Hello everybody and welcome. So today I wanted to talk about a picture that we technically already talked about and has been kind of bugging me for weeks because there's a bunch of implications that could be found from that quite frankly I just think there's more to discuss here. So specifically I am talking about this right here. So the picture that Matsuno was tweeting out a while ago. So here's the thing. On paper, you know, at first I thought we already covered everything there is to cover on this, but I never really thought about a lot of the implications going on here. See, because the other day was driving along for several hours and just kept thinking, like, how is this screenshot even possible? Because they were talking about, you know, how they, you know, had set up this sword thing as a joke and whatever else. But do you notice what you don't see on this map, by any chance? Because there's no leader on this map, which basically potentially implies a whole number of things. For one thing, well, we already know that they're still on the player side. They still have the emblem for that. For another thing, we know that the items more than likely are, well, actually, potentially those items would still be those 4 slots on the left because we don't see anything in his inventory. So those 4 item slots would presumably be empty. If you remember from the other screenshot, his items were a Blessing Stone, a Haunt's Tome, what looked like a shortcut to the Palace of the Dead, and I believe a like MP seed or something like that. Actually, we can probably just pull that up right here. Might be a little bit easier to look at. So let's go look at what he had to begin with, and that would have been this one right here. So yeah, he's got the Palace of the Dead shortcut, a Mending Salve, a Haunt's Tome, and a Blessing Stone. Okay, so here's the weird part about all of this, right? Think about this for a second. Look at his party. There would presumably be more of a party in this fight, right? In the past, if you ended up losing Denim, you'd end up losing the entire fight. Now let's go back to this one. Do we see Denim here? No. So what exactly does this mean? So presumably they already burned through their items, but does this mean you can essentially evacuate Denim under certain circumstances? Does this mean you don't have to deploy him and we're just following FFTA, you know, A2 rules kind of situation? And another thing, considering their loadout, considering the oddly specific stuff they've got going on there, they've got, you know, dual swords in the other one, they've got shields in this one, but, they seem to have quickly burned through their items despite the fact that they haven't really moved anywhere, and their party's gone. Does this mean potentially that they went and used up all those items already? Does this mean that they just got rid of them before this fight? Or, like, weird... I know this is going to seem out of nowhere, but think about it for a second. What if they're action-use items now? We don't really see anything that's listed as, like, action skill, not action skill, that kind of thing. What if just everything that's not a basic attack is an action skill now? Because I was just thinking, what the hell's he doing with a Haunt's Tome? What situation would he be better off not just attacking twice instead of going and, you know, reducing resistance? Because the thing is, like, if you have Spellcraft or something like that, it boosts your overall magic penetration, meaning that you boost yourself and then you go attack. To boost something's resistance would mean that you're already getting past that defense, which basically meant that something like a Haunt's Tome was not particularly useful unless it's a character that literally has nothing better to do. This guy, I mean, they're a maxed out defense build ninja. I'm pretty sure they've got better stuff to do. Any darn ways. We also see that there's an element applied to the kind of instill stun effect. I don't know whether that means that, you know, maybe there's some additional scaling type stuff to it. Maybe instead of scaling mind for some of these things, maybe it just kind of scales off your element or something. Honestly, I don't even know what to muse about that. But I just kept thinking, like, it's weird that that's a thing. Also, we noticed that everybody else has a shield with a 1 tick next to it. This guy seems to have a shield with a 2 tick next to it. Potentially, does that mean if you have a shield, maybe it's like you get 2 free evades? Because that's the evade symbol from the other game. Specifically, it basically means you can take 1 hit, and does that mean that ninjas can stack 2? Does that mean that everybody's got like a dodge mode, evade mode, you know, tank mode, that kind of thing? it seems possible. I kept thinking that's, that's stances or something, but if you're like, okay, you're just in dodge mode right now, maybe you're guaranteed to dodge one move, maybe you're limited to how many times you can block per round, I don't know. But just kind of kept looking back at this picture like there's a lot to potentially unpack here. Now, judging by the loadout, this looks like the Orgeau fight. I've done this one not that long ago. This definitely looks like how his party's usually set up, because at first I was thinking, what if this means that training mode is back? Now, I'm not saying that it's impossible. There's no way to tell that it's actually Orgeau and not a bunch of generics that happen to look the same as that team. Then again, we also don't know that this isn't just a cheated together screenshot. If you remember in the promotional materials for Tactics Ogre PSP, they basically showed Tardy and Hamilton having a sword fight in multiplayer mode, which is, to this day, impossible without cheats. So, that's a bit of a thing. Though, I will say it has been incredibly positive to see far more marketing come out for this game than the entire rest of the series combined, just in the few weeks since its release. So, we actually see stuff happening. It might be very oddly specific to explain to people why the hell glass pumpkin lotteries are a thing that is being considered for the game. Also, it's probably the only way they're going to get people to pre-order, considering the absolutely atrocious shipping prices, but whatever. But anyway, what do you guys think this stuff is? I know I noticed, well, many people have pointed out early on that when it comes to the second icon next to all their other info there, it's Wade 1. I mean, it's inbuilt. Should have known it. It's been the same symbol forever. It's just who the hell ever looks at that icon and thinks, yeah, it's Wade time. Basically, the symbol was always there before to let you know what units could or could not be knocked into water, because one of the rules that it didn't tell you is that you could not hit a unit into the water if they couldn't swim. So, for example, Terror Knights, one of their little benefits was that they were functionally given free steadfast if they were standing on a water tile. So in many ways, that ability is kind of a downside. We'll see how that ended up changing this time around. Honestly, I always thought that they should have just taken extra damage instead to show that they were so desperate to not get in the water because they can't swim. But, it is what it is. Anyway, so that is about that for this one. I just kind of wanted to muse over the craziness of the screenshot. And I guess now back to the level 1 run. Alright, you guys have a good one. Take care.